everybody. I'm here this last day of June to complete my ICAD Index-Card-A-Day for day 30, June 30th. And so, I might as well, I say I'm halfway there. I've got 31 cards to do for the month of July. So, I have a card that has got some journal paper on it, or ledger paper on it, and I'm going to first attach a piece of deli paper that I created when I was doing my jelly plate printing. This actually turned out better than the card did, but I'm going to put this down first with some matte medium. Before this is over, I'm going to have run out of this. So, the thing about deli paper, when you put it down, it with matte medium, it almost disappears. I mean, it looks like it's part of the card and not a piece of collage paper. Put it down flat. Try to get the bubbles out. And now it sort of blends into the card itself and looks pretty cool. Okay, so next I'm going to do my tea bag. I sort of have this figured out in my head, but so I want to get it kind of in the right place. I'm turning the jagged edge down for emphasis, really, that it's a torn edge. Okay. Now, I realized when I was thinking about what I wanted to do, I've not used any fabric. Now, this is just a piece of 100% cotton fabric, and I like when the threads, becomes threadbare here. So when I do this, I tear it. I try to tear it instead of cutting it. So, and you'll get a more of a, well, it's to the grain. I used to, years ago, back in the 90s, I had a quilt shop in the suburbs of Atlanta, in a little town, well, it wasn't really a little town, but a town called Marietta that was north of Atlanta. And I had a quilt shop. It was in a space that had been a boutique, and it was the coolest thing. There was a tree, obviously not a live tree, but it was a tree branch in the back over the cash register. And it also had an upstairs, even though it was a single level space. And I used to have quilt lessons and classes in the upstairs part of it. There was also a fake fireplace down underneath that upper level that was really a nice place to have a rocking chair and books and things for people to come and look at. So it was really, when I started sewing, now I only pretty much sew paper, but I was a quilter and I taught quilt classes, hand quilting as well as machine stitching. But anyway, so when I had the shop, I always tore my fabric. I would allow for the, give it an extra couple of inches to make, to give them the full cut that they wanted. But I always tore my fabric because it is on the grain. I know it's a straight line, that it's not cut in an angle. So anyway, that's a long story, but I closed my shop up when I separated and subsequently divorced. Had a divorce. and I closed it up and moved back to Virginia, so I would be close to family. Anyway, I'm going to put this down with matte medium. I think it will hold fine. I don't think I need to use Fabri-Tac. The matte medium will kind of soak through the fabric and hold it down pretty well, I think, since it's a flat surface. Okay, so that's all of the use of this matte medium, I think. I have one more piece of collage paper that I want to put down, but I think before I do that, I want to add some tape. I'm going to add this, I mentioned it yesterday, I believe, that I had black masking tape, and that's what this is. It's a masking tape. It's a strong masking tape. So I'm going to put this down here. I don't want to cover up the edge of my fabric. I'll flip that over to the back. I've got my little X's that marks the spot so I can stay in frame. And next I'm going to put down my washi tape, my Dina Wakley washi tape, which I've done for every card so far. And my intent is to do it all the way through to the end. I'm going to tear that and put it down over top of the black washi tape. I'm going to take this Mylara stick, and I'm going to do some marks on everything, even the fabric. Then I'm going to take a pencil, just a regular pencil, and make some marks. The only other thing that I think I want to do is to put down my little stitchy bit. And I've got a cluster of strings that I thought would look good on this, so I'm going to put it down, and then I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. Pardon me for reaching in front of you. Use Fabri-Tac to put it down and also hold that bundle of strings. And when I closed my quilt shop, it was I went through a grieving time, and I've only made one quilt since then, and that was for my first grandchild. So, you know, in looking back at this was kind of an accident. I chose this word for today of healing, and it was a time that I grieved and I healed, but I still miss the smell of fabric. I love the texture of it. I love the smell of it. It was, you know, part of who I was. And anyway, it is in the past, and so now I sew on fabric. Now I wanted to show you one thing that I got in the mail today. I told you that there was a Ranger heat tool that's very quiet. Let me show you. You barely can hear it. And it works really well. So it's drying this, even though it's quiet, it really has a lot of power. So that'll make my drying time quieter for you. So I hope you have enjoyed being with me and learned a little bit about who I am and what my what goes on in my head, which may be a dangerous place to be. But anyway, I thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you tomorrow for July the 1st.